Today is day 4 for the unaliving trial of Aniah Blanchard. It was a short day, but some major things did come out during testimony. Yes, I am aware that there were 2 used condoms found in her car with 2 specimens inside that did not match each other, and neither one of them matched Ibraheem Yazeed. But before we go into that, let's just go in order by the witnesses, and let's keep it respectful. This is still a young lady who was an actual teenager when she was unalive, and regardless of any decision she made to how to live her life, she did not deserve to be unalive. Let's keep it cute, y'all. Now, one of the first witnesses that took the stand was a Verizon worker who basically was just confirming that the phone records that were being shown in court was matching Verizon's data, and the defense didn't have any questions for this witness. Now, the next witness that took the stand was a human resource manager from JCS Healthcare Representatives. They were there to talk about Antoine Fisher, or Squirmy, saying that on October the 23rd, he went into work at 6:15 p.m. and worked until October 24th at 4:40 a.m. Now, the defense did get up to question this witness and basically asked them, were they the ones who put in the time for Antoine, or did someone else do it? They just said that they did not put in the time. They simply downloaded the timesheet and they were reading it off in court. Now, the next person to take the stand was an ADFS firearms scientist who worked for the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences. They were there to test bullets and tool marks. There were 3 fired bullets. They said one was so damaged that they could not analyze it, so the results were inconclusive. Now, when the defense got up to do the cross-examination, they asked, could they tell if they all came from the same weapon? She said that they could not tell that. However, the results from their investigation made it look like these came from 2 different weapons. And the next person to take the stand was the ADFS lab director who was there to test DNA. They were trying to see if any of the individual DNA profile matched any of the evidence that was being collected. Now, before Aniah's body was found, they took samples from the parents and they were testing it against that. They tested the passenger floorboard, sunglasses, and a Dollar Tree receipt. All 3 of those tested positive for blood and was a match to Aniah. Now, there were some things that had more than one DNA on it, like the steering wheel, a vape cartridge found in the cup holder, as well as the gear shift and the driver's seat headrest. Now, as far as the driver's seat headrest and the gear shift, male DNA did test on that, but they both were insufficient for comparison. Now, all the headline-making evidence that was found and discussed on multiple platforms today excluded everybody that's involved with this case, or involved as far as we know of. There was a glass pipe found under the driver's seat and it had 2 male DNAs on it. However, it excluded Ibraheem Yazeed as well as Aniah Blanchard. Now, there was 2 condoms found in the car with semen inside of both from 2 different male specimens. However, it excluded Ibraheem Yazeed and Aniah Blanchard. Now, there was also an earring found on the bed of Big Dave's truck. It did test that it was from a female. However, it excluded Aniah Blanchard as well. Now, some of the evidence that was collected either had negative results or insufficient samples. Like, there was negative results from the driver's floorboard, the driver's seat, a blanket found inside of a trash can, and a comforter found on Big Dave's truck. They all tested negative for blood. Now, when it came to the insufficient samples, there was the projectile from the passenger door, ammunition. They even tested the radio knob. They tested the rear view mirror, as well as both of the handles on the doors, and those had insufficient results. Now, there were some hairs that were being tested as well. They got hairs from boxers as well as the headrest, and none of them had enough integrity to give them a conclusive result. Now, when the defense got up to do their cross-examination, they basically just confirmed, out of all of these 40-something pieces of evidence, did any of them have a match to Ibraheem Yazeed? And they said no. So the last person to take the stand was a biologist with ADFS, and they got on there and testified that the glass pipe, the 2 condoms, as well as the earring found on Big Dave's truck was not a match to Antoine Fisher or Squirmy. Now, the defense did get up and do a cross-examination and basically pointed out the only thing that they tested against Antoine Fisher were those items and no other items. Right now, I can kind of see how this is headed. The defense is trying to say that this is possible that Antoine did it and that a proper investigation was not done. Y'all, this was a short day. There will be another short day on tomorrow. Once I have some more information regarding this, I will let you all know.